Mark chapter 5. And that's going to take me right there. And then I'm going to sit down. I promise. Because I know somebody might want to go home. They've got to work tomorrow. Chapter 5. So I'm going to go tonight, Lord. Mama, take this from me. Because I'm going to read a note that I made in here about numbers. Because I want to talk to Evangelist Bex about a number really quick. Verse 21 through 34. And you all can be seated. Really. It's all right. Unless you want to stay. You really can. The word says when Jesus had to get crossed over by boat to the other side of the lake, and I'm reading the New International Version, a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came there. Seeing Jesus, he fell at his feet. Somebody say, fell at his feet. And pleaded earnestly with him. My little daughter is dying. Somebody say dying. Did it say sleep? What did it say? What did it say? Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live. So Jesus went with him. Somebody say he went with him. Did he stay? He went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman, somebody say a woman. A woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. Somebody say, put your finger right there. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, that really can mean completeness. Oh, I don't believe you. Tell your neighbor again. I really can mean completeness. Saying the picture's about to tell you. Now, she had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet, instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Somebody say healed. What was the little girl? Dying. But the Bible says that this woman knew that if she touched, she would be healed. Immediately. Somebody say immediately. Oh, come on, you need to shout that, but immediately. Let me put my finger right there. People don't know when to get excited about the word. Because if this is our living word, everything that we guide ourselves by, if I'm looking at a situation of people dying and sick and infirmity, but when I see the word immediately, it quickens something in my spirit. Because that lets me know something exciting is about to happen. And it didn't take a long time. I mean, I already saw 12 years, so I started getting bored. But when I saw immediately, I got excited. Her bleeding stopped and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. And once Jesus realized that power had gone from him, in other words, we read virtue. And it says he turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? I had to wear my robe tonight because I had to illustrate something real quick. Who touched my clothes? Who touched my robe? Who put the hands on me? Who put the hands on me? Talk to me. Who all up on my hair? Who did you see him? Did you see him? Okay, keep on. Who touched my clothes? You see the people crowding around you. The disciples answered. Some texts would read he was mocked. And yet you can ask, who touched me? I love it how it went back to red, because really red means he was talking. So he already knew where their mocking was going and took the conversation from him and said, yes, I can say, who touched me? I can ask that. Who felt they could put their hands on the man of God? Sometimes we got to get buck like, who thought they could touch me? With their mouths, with their thoughts, and certainly not with your hands. But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. My text says, who had done it? Go ahead. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, some would say reverence, told him the whole truth. He said to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. So I'm going to talk to you just real quick, and that's going to tie into that. Because we have a woman. Here we have a woman in a familiar passage of scripture that we've read over and over and over again, and we've heard in many different ways, this, exegeted and all of that good stuff. And at the end of the day, there was an ulterior purpose. And in this, when we read it, we hear it, we think about the simplicics of Jairus on his way because he wanted healing for his daughter, and here comes an interruption. Can I get excited about the interruption for a moment? Because somebody in here had a regularly scheduled program. Let me bring it to the natural for you. We've been watching our TV shows, and just when it gets to that good point, here comes this band across your screen. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. If this was really an emergency, it would have probably gone a little bit something different, and so on and so forth. But the point is, by the time they finished, the part was over. But what was exciting was, it was an interruption to the program for your concern. We upset, but they're doing it for our benefit. Oh, somebody's getting excited. Because although Jairus had his regularly scheduled program, here comes this interruption that comes in between that says, I've got to interrupt this because I've got to heal somebody along the way. Can I bring it home for you? While Jesus was on his way doing whatever he was doing, when he was passing out blessings and naming them one by one, he stopped so that he could hand one out just for you. What is my child Carolyn calling me? I got to go and see about her right now. Are you doing okay, baby? What? Pastor Charlie needs a blessing. Let me lay my hand upon her. I don't care whatever it is. I can be interrupted for my child. We have a woman, a wallflower. Can I talk about the woman for a second? Can I talk about her? I promise I'm gonna hurry up. Put this right here. A woman, a wallflower. A wallflower, but she was a suffering woman. She was a broke woman. The text said that she spent all she had, and then some. So she was broke, penniless. But out of all that the text said, what stood out to me was that she was a nameless woman. I dug and I read and I read. I even Googled it. We didn't come up with a name, but I said, I thank you, God, for that, because we didn't even need a name, did we? We didn't even need a name for the purpose to still be fulfilled. And I thank God because I've been called so many different things. Oh God, I've been called so many different things besides broke, busted, and disgusted. I've been somebody's wife and oh, wait a minute, we got some babies, so let me keep it PG-13 and under. I've been called some harlots and some ladies of the night. I was somebody's Wednesday night. Oh, they don't want to talk to me for real. Let me come talk to you right here. I've been somebody's something that wasn't anything but the child of God. Yet he still chose me. You have to be excited about that. Thank you, God, that in my broken state, you still saw what you created from the formation of the earth. When you threw up some seeds in the earth and blew them out and let them fall to the earth. When you called in this season for one to spring forth, you called it by name and it was me. And I sprung forth. You already knew I was going to mess up. You already knew I was going to fall. You already knew I was going to backslide. You already knew I may lie, I may cheat, I may steal, I may kill, but in spite of it all, you still chose me. You still chose me. We cliche always have many are called, but a few are chosen. Do you really know what it means to be chosen? Let me bring it home for some of these children in here. You know how you playing the game? Can I use you two for a moment? You team A and you team B. Okay, you come on and be on team A. Okay, and this is me. Come on, Pastor. We ready? Hey, the captains, y'all remember the game? Before you can play, you have to pick your teams, right? So I'm standing here. Okay, now, let me go ahead and tell you in advance what the answer to the test is. You're gonna pick me, not Pastor Justin. Okay, I'm sorry, I love you. So now when it comes time to pick. Come on, Pastor. Oh, okay. I was chosen to be on the team. Let me do next to when you play. Okay, now it's time to pick. Oh, I was chosen.